All right, let's get started. Today, I'm going to share with you some really good news if you got a PPP loan for $50,000 or less. You've probably heard by now, but the SBA has released a new PPP Loan Forgiveness application form that is completely simplified. It's essentially one page that combines all the other forms, and you should be able to fill this out within the course of a few minutes. So today, in this video, I'm going to walk you through filling in that application, and be sure to stick around at the end because I'm going to offer you the most important piece of information you're going to need to use this application. You're not going to want to miss this. All right, before we jump into this form, I'm going to focus this video on the self-employed, the independent contractors, sole proprietors, and gig workers who file a Schedule C. The Schedule C is going to be key here in using this form. However, to be clear here, anyone who got a PPP loan can use this form if their loan was for $50,000 and less, and they didn't have a total of over 2 million PPP loans across all entities. I'm sure that hardly applies to anybody, so let's jump right in. Okay, so as you can see here, the official title of this form is the PPP Loan Forgiveness Application Form 3508S. Let's just call it the S form moving forward. You're going to start right here with your legal business name. If you are self-employed, independent contractor, just go ahead and put your first and last name. I'm going to put in Rich Smith. Okay, up next for a business address, if you work out of your home, go ahead and put your home street address along with the city, state, and zip code. However, if you do pay for and rent a business or own a building, for example, and work out of there, then you can put that address. We're going to go ahead and leave the DBA or trade name blank. If you have a trade name or DBA, you'll know that, and you can go ahead and fill that in. Up next for your business TIN, they're looking for your EIN or your social security number. Again, if you have an EIN, you can go ahead and use that. But for most people, go ahead and fill in your social security number right here. Also right here for business phone, primary contact, email address, just go ahead and fill in your home or cell number, your name, and again, your email address. Right here for SBA PPP loan number and the lender PPP loan number, this is information that was on the original application, the one you put in for getting your loan. Probably it was sent to you electronically in some sort of DocuServe or signable PDF. So go ahead and find those loan documents, and that's where you can get those numbers. And if you still have trouble finding them, you can just reach out to your lender and request them. Okay, and while you have those loan documents out, go ahead and put the PPP loan amount that was deposited into your account along with the disbursement date. That means the date that you got the money. For here, I'm going to write the maximum amount for a self-employed individual known as owner's compensation. That's going to be the $20,833 amount. Also, for the sake of this application, I'll write down June 15th, 2020. Right here for employees at time of loan application and then employees at time of forgiveness application, just go ahead and fill in one for both. Being a self-employed sole proprietor, you're going to be considered your one employee. Now here we get to the part that, yes, is going to seem unfair to some people. However, you were probably the lucky few to actually get an EIDL advance. But if you got an advance, not the loan, the advance, they want the advanced amount in this portion. So you can just put NA if that does not apply. But if you got, let's say, that $1,000 advance, you're going to put that here. And yes, they are going to deduct that from your PPP loan amount forgiveness. And again, if this does apply to you, go ahead and put the EIDL application number. Again, that's going to be on your loan documents, or you can put NA. And here is the best part about this simplified application. There's no calculations that you have to show. There's no worksheet. They simply want you to write in your forgiveness amount. But the problem that many people are going to have is you're going to ask yourself, what's my correct forgiveness amount? Now, to be clear, there is a calculation that you can do on your own. And this video is for those Schedule C self-employed independent contractors. That calculation I have right here it's line 31 of the Schedule C divided by 12 and then multiplied by 2.5. Now, I've made videos on how to pay yourself this PPP money properly so that you have all the documentation, along with what happens if you got too much PPP money. And to be clear, some people just filed using 1099s, or they gave the bank all their tax information and the bank gave them too much money. But I want to help you with your own calculation. So down below in the description of this video, I have created a PPP loan forgiveness amount calculator for the self-employed. This thing couldn't be any more simple. You simply type in that Schedule C line 31 number and it will tell you what your correct PPP loan forgiveness amount is. And for this application, that's all you need to write down. That calculator is free to access, so feel free to sign up for one. Okay, let's move on to this last part of the forgiveness application. You have to initial a series of statements. If you take a look at this first one, they're saying that the dollar amount which the forgiveness is requested does not exceed the principal amount of the PPP loan. Go ahead and sign that. Also, you can see here that if you are using that 24-week covered period, that you're able to get the owner's compensation of the 2.5 months as opposed to if you were doing the 8-week covered period. Up next, it says that you're not doing anything criminal or fraudulent and that you're using the funds properly. So please use the funds properly and go ahead and sign this part. Up next, and this is the big part, it says that you have accurately calculated the forgiveness amount. They're putting it on your shoulders to make sure that the amount you're writing down is correct. So double check your calculations and make sure they are correct. Up next, you do have to submit to the lender certain documentation. If you pay a payroll service company, then it could be that type of documentation. But then again, for most of us, it's probably going to be that 2019 Schedule C, along with bank statements to show how the money was used in our accounts. Again, moving on here, it just says that the information in the application is true. And here it says your tax documents are going to match up with what you're putting in this application. And the SBA reserves the right to request even additional information, maybe those bank statements, for example. So you need to hang on to your documentation for the foreseeable future. And then the final part here is to simply put your signature, print your name, and put the date and your business title. For fun, I'll leave another link down below of business titles if you're not sure what to put. There is one more page for demographic information. It is optional, so you can take a look at it, you can read it, fill it in if you want to, or leave it blank. All right, let's wind this thing down. I wanted to keep this video short and sweet because it is specifically geared towards the self-employed for the purpose of their PPP loan forgiveness application using this form 3508S, the simple form, so to speak. Also, feel free to download that PPP loan forgiveness amount calculator. Again, it couldn't be more simple. You get that Schedule C line 31, type in your numbers, and it'll show you what the loan forgiveness amount should be. And again, remember that these forgiveness applications, they go to your lender. So it's probably the same lender that you applied with, unless it got moved to a different bank, and that has happened already. So just keep in mind that as soon as your bank is willing to accept it, you're going to give them this form through some sort of portal, secure message, or email. And one more thing, I would probably wait to hear from your bank before you apply for forgiveness. No one saw this new application coming, and yes, it's good news, but then again, there could be additional changes. So maybe wait a couple more weeks until you hear from your own lender and they say, hey, we're ready to accept forgiveness applications. And that would be a good time for you to probably submit it with hundreds of thousands of other ones. Also, I am available to book for a private one-on-one consultation call. These have been going really well. Basically, I can help you take a look at your numbers and you can bounce any questions or things you're uncertain off of me, and I can just tell you exactly how it's going to be and what you can probably expect. So I'll leave a link down below in the description if you'd like to book me for a call. Be sure to please like this video, and if you're new, hit subscribe and ring that notification bell. All right. As always, I'm Rich, and until next time.